Well, I do think there is a striking resemblance in the geopolitical challenge that President Trump faces and the one that President Nixon faced. But the critical point is that the roles have changed. China is now the senior partner, and Russia is clearly the junior partner in what's sometimes called the axis of authoritarians. In 1969, the Soviet Union and China were basically at war or close to war. And it was quite easy, in fact, for the Nixon administration to exploit that, to send Nixon to Beijing to establish a new relationship with China. This is not an option today because China and Russia are closer together than perhaps at any time in their history. Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin see one another more often than any two world leaders. And those in the Trump administration who think that they can somehow woo Putin away from Xi or maybe woo Xi away from Putin, I think are bound to be disappointed. But that's certainly what they tried to do when they got Putin to come to Alaska. They tried to cut some new deal with him over Ukraine, but it failed because the Russians turned up and clearly weren't sincere about Trump's peacemaking efforts. So now I think it's so long Putin, hello Xi Jinping. Trump is going to make the same play. He's going to meet with Xi Jinping. Perhaps there's going to be a summit in Beijing next year. My hunch is that that might go further than the peace feelers towards Russia because there's a deal to be done with Xi Jinping, a deal over Taiwan and a deal over semiconductors. So I think that's where we're going. I think Trump is going to end up in Beijing just as Nixon ended up in Beijing in 1972. And Trump is going to milk that for all it's worth on TV as well as on social media, just the way that Nixon milked his visit in 1972 on what was then terrestrial networks.